Friends, you may have heard that love knows no age, but can someone fall in love with a person 40 years younger? Let's dive into a unique story. The story begins in the middle of a vast ocean where a 60-year-old man named Takashi lives on his boat. His job is to give tours to tourists and predict their futures. Helping him in this work is a 16-year-old girl named Emma. You might assume that Takashi and Emma share a grandfather-granddaughter relationship, but that's not the case. About 10 years ago, when Emma was just 7 years old, Takashi brought her to live with him on this boat. Since then, Emma has never left. Over time, Takashi grew attached to Emma and she became a companion in his otherwise lonely life. Now, he wants to marry her and is waiting for Emma to turn 17. It may sound strange, but this is their reality. Emma has never seen the outside world. Her entire life has been spent on this boat. To her, this boat is the world. The two never call each other by name, a sign of mutual respect. Like every day, Takashi leaves to bring tourists on the boat and Emma waits for him. One day, two tourists misbehave with Emma and ask inappropriate questions. Takashi, standing at a distance, sees this and fires an arrow that lands on their chair, scaring them away. These tourists knew Takashi was planning to marry Emma, which is why they behaved that way. Takashi's fortune-telling is unique. He seats Emma on a swing attached to the side of the boat with a Buddha painting in the background. He fires 3 arrows at the painting and Emma brings them back, whispering something in his ear, which he uses to predict the future. How Emma knows these things remains a mystery for now. As time passes, Emma turns 17, the moment Takashi has been waiting for. He counts the days on his calendar, eagerly anticipating their wedding, scheduled for the 12th of the next month. One day, a group of tourists arrives, including a 20-year-old boy. Emma is drawn to him because they are close in age. The boy, listening to music on his headphones by the boat's edge, catches Emma's attention. She approaches him, takes his headphones, and puts them on without asking. The boy says nothing, understanding her innocence. He asks Emma questions like, "Is that old man your grandfather? Which class are you in? Where is your home?" Emma doesn't answer. She simply smiles and enjoys the music. Takashi soon arrives, and the boy finds the situation odd but dismisses it as a grandfather-granddaughter relationship. That night, as everyone sleeps on the boat, the boy wakes up for water and sees Takashi bathing Emma. Shocked, he finds it disturbing but says nothing. The next morning, he shares what he saw with his father, who explains that Takashi brought Emma to the boat when she was 7. She has never seen the outside world. The boat is her entire life. Hearing this, the boy feels sorry for Emma but feels powerless to help. Takashi resumes his fortune-telling ritual with Emma, but the boy, watching, grows suspicious. He starts to believe that Takashi is simply using the innocent girl. When it's time for the boy to leave, Emma stands by the boat watching him go. Somewhere in her heart, she has developed feelings for him. Before leaving, the boy gives her his headphones as a gift, smiling warmly. Seeing their closeness, Takashi is unhappy. He wants Emma to focus only on him and care for him, not anyone else. Over time, Emma changes. She no longer eagerly waits for Takashi when he returns from tours. Instead, she sits in a corner, listening to music on the boy's headphones. Takashi, angered, snatches the headphones from her, which upsets Emma. The next day, Takashi brings a necklace to make amends, but Emma throws it away and deliberately sits with a tourist who begins to take advantage of her. Takashi intervenes, driving the tourist away, but Emma remains upset. That night, when Takashi tries to bathe Emma again, she refuses to let him touch her, expressing her anger. Takashi understands her frustration and begins crossing out days on the calendar, no longer waiting for the 12th of next month. He now wants to marry her as soon as possible, believing it will give him full control over her. Days pass, and Takashi intensifies the wedding preparations. However, one day, the young boy reappears on the boat, bringing joy to Emma. People call him Kenzo. Seeing him, Emma feels happiness return to her life. Kenzo gives her his headphones as a gift, and in return, Emma gifts him a small drum. Kenzo, happy, takes a selfie with her, and Emma beams with joy. Takashi, watching them, grows jealous and angry. In his frustration, he fires an arrow, as he has done many times before. But this time Emma takes out his arrow and breaks it and leaves from there in anger. Now it is night, and when Takashi comes back to the room after doing all the work to bathe Emma, but Emma is not seen. The old man understands where Emma must have gone. He immediately goes to the room of the same boy where Emma was with him, and seeing this scene, Takashi becomes mad with anger. He immediately makes that boy sit on a small boat and drives him away from there. And while leaving, Kenzo says that you are not doing the right thing. You have kept this innocent girl away from her parents for so many years. You have not thought about her parents at all. What must they be going through? But now this will not happen. I will take this girl from here and will also search for her parents. Hearing all this, Takashi gets a little scared because for him Emma was his life. If Emma leaves from here, then what will happen to him? But friends, now Emma had also changed. He also has to face the world now. She started to feel that Takashi had imprisoned her here, and that is why one day she tries to escape from there by taking a boat, but her plan doesn't succeed and Takashi sees her and forcibly catches her and brings her to the room. But now things were changing for him. The dream he had been thinking about for 10 years was now breaking. That's why he decides that he will marry her as soon as possible so that Emma does not leave him, and Takashi now starts making arrangements for the marriage. The bed that kept them apart for 10 years today brings them together. In his mind he had considered her as his everything. Now the time after a few days is shown where that young boy comes once again, but this time he came by someone else's boat. He fulfilled his promise. He shows Emma standing there her missing poster and says that your parents are searching for you, and seeing this poster Takashi gets very angry and tears that paper and asks her to leave from there, but Kenzo does not listen to him and he repeatedly explains to Emma that your parents are searching for you for 10 years. I know you like this place very much, but there is a world outside this. You cannot stay here forever. Hearing this, Emma gets into thinking. She goes away, but then Takashi again shoots an arrow at her, but this time Emma stands in front of him like a wall, and this shows us that Emma also wants to be free from here. Seeing this, the old man puts down his bow. Now that night a very strong storm comes, but it was not a sea storm, but it was giving Takashi the message of the coming days that something very big is going to happen. That night Takashi tries to make Emma sleep with him, but she was repeatedly insisting to go, and in this anger she raised her hand on Takashi for the first time. Seeing this, Takashi is completely shocked. Now the next day, he is fixing the motor of his ship in a very angry mood, and then he gets hurt on his head, and when Emma sees this, she feels very bad. She immediately comes to him and starts treating his wound, but Takashi slaps her in anger and he does not stop here. He raises his hand to slap her again. By then Kenzo comes there and says that what is in your mind? You have imprisoned an innocent girl here for your own desire. You just want the body of this girl and nothing else. This is not good. You are doing very wrong. And he says that I also want to know the future of this girl, whether she will marry you or go with me. Hearing this, Takashi once again makes Emma sit on the swing in the same way and shoots an arrow, but this time his aim starts faltering and he starts sweating. Seeing this, Kenzo pulls the swing and Emma falls into the water. He immediately goes and saves her, and after this she says something in Takashi's ear after reaching upstairs, and Takashi says the same thing in Kenzo's ear, and after knowing the prophecy he requests Takashi to let her go as she also has the right to see the outside world. Hearing this, Takashi gets even more angry and starts throwing out the wedding clothes that he had collected for years because what he had thought that will not happen. He spends the whole night looking at those clothes, and the next day Kenzo comes to meet Takashi with Emma and says that now we are leaving. Now Takashi does not say anything to them because he knew that this is their future which he cannot change. He lets them go and both of them leave the boat, but after going a little distance she stops and it seemed as if she might have got stuck to something. That thing is none other than Takashi's neck. Yes friends, he had tied that rope around his neck so that as soon as Emma leaves he dies, and Emma cannot go away from him while alive. Seeing all this, Emma understands and she comes to Takashi crying and hugs him. Both of them start crying after seeing each other and hug each other. Kenzo standing nearby also understands that their relationship is not like he had thought. It is very sacred. That old man was not fond of any body-like things. He was so attached to that girl that even death was becoming small for him. This was the reason that he thought of taking his own life. Now the next morning Emma bathes the old man and makes him wear the wedding dress and wears it herself too, which means that she has decided that she will now get married. She makes him wear all the things collected by the old man, and then both of them go on a small boat where they get married with full rituals. Now both of them were very happy, and after some time the boat stops after going a little distance. Kenzo standing at a distance was watching all this, but he was not feeling bad now. Takashi now plays the same tune for Emma which he has been playing since always, and she falls asleep as soon as she hears it, but here's something very different happens which you would not have thought of. Actually Takashi knew that this marriage will not be successful because because he had seen the prophecy, after which he stands on the edge of the boat and shoots an arrow towards the sky and jumps into the sea and gives up his life. After some time the boat itself moves and comes near that big boat, and then Kenzo sees that the soul of that old man is getting intimate with that girl, and the next moment the arrow comes and hits him between his legs. Kenzo understands that he never got intimate with that girl while he was alive. Now after some time Emma wakes up. Emma gets scared seeing him dead and starts crying, but Kenzo tells her everything and makes her understand. Well, then Emma agrees. After that both of them leave that boat towards a new life, but the surprising thing here was that that big boat is following them. The boat was also coming on its own, meaning Takashi's soul was still following them, but as soon as Emma waves her hand to him saying goodbye, the boat stops on its own. Takashi's soul has now found peace, and with this the story ends.